Welcome along to part 2 of our tutorial on how to shoot in GameMaker Studio. In the first video we brought in all the sprites, sounds, backgrounds, we converted those sprites to objects, and then we also created our first level, but we didn't do any of the coding that we need to do to get our game working, and that's what we're about to do in today's second video. So let's get started by heading down our page to our objects folder over here, and to start with today I'm going to start programming the object girl left. Okay, I'm going to start making her move and do a few other things. So double click on her and open up her properties panel. First thing we're going to do is get this girl moving to the left. Since she's facing the left, should be pretty easy. We'll add in an event and choose the keyboard event like usual. It's going to be for the left key. When we press our left arrow key, we're going to go to the control tab here and select the very first option, so that dotted circle. We're going to look to the left, so we're going to change the X value to -4. I'm just going to make sure that space is empty. Make sure you check relative, so you're looking from your current position. Okay. If that space is empty, then we're going to be able to move into it. So go back to your move tab, choose the jump to position option, and let's move her -4 on the X plane and choose relative. So it's basically moving her to the left at a speed of 4. So we'll click OK. Now things are going to be a little bit different this time when we press the right key. As you know, we've got two objects, object girl left and object girl right. At the moment we're facing to the left. When we press the left key, that's all well and good, we move to the left. But when we press the keyboard for the right key, we actually want to change our object from the girl facing to the left into the girl facing to the right. So all we have to do is go to the main 1 tab, select this blue and red ball here, and we're going to change our object into the girl facing to the right, and we must say yes to perform those events. Okay, so when we press our right key now, we should have a girl facing to the right. Now we want to make it jump. Okay, so to make our girl jump, we're going to add in a couple of events. The first one is the up key event. So when we press our up key, we want to be able to jump. So there's a couple of things we need to add in here. In the control tab, just select that blue ball in the top right hand corner. It's the check object. We are checking it for the wall just above our head, so the Y value will be 1. And make sure you check relative as well. Click OK. Then we'll go to the move tab and set our vertical speed to -10. And then we'll click OK on that as well. That's all we need on our up key. To finish this jump event off, we need to add in one more event, which is known as the step event. In the step event, a couple of things we need to do here as well. So go to the control tab, select this dotted circle first of all, and once again we're going to check just above our head. So Y is 1, and we're going to check the relative box at the bottom. Once we've done that, we're going to go back to our move tab and set the gravity. The direction will be 270, gravity 0.5. That's going to help us jump up in the air. Back in the control tab, we'll choose else. Back to the move tab, we'll select those little blue arrows to set the gravity again. It'll be 270 and then 0. Click OK. Then we're going to go back to the control tab, doing a lot of backwards and forwards work here. Right at the bottom, select this test variable button. That's the middle VAR symbol down there. We're going to test the V speed. Value will be 12, and the operation is going to be greater than. So V speed 12 greater than. Click OK on that, and back in the move tab we're just going to select the vertical speed and set it to 12. Click OK. Make sure you've got all those in order. If you do, you should have a girl that can jump now. Next thing we're going to add on this object girl left is when she has a collision with the monsters, we want her to die, and we're going to have the level just restart. So we'll add in an event, and it's going to be a collision. We'll start with monster left. We've also got monster right to do in a minute, but we'll start with a collision between object girl left and monster left. The first thing, when we hit a monster, in the main 1 tab, let's play a sound. So hit that first grey speaker. The sound you want to play is the sound of you dying. The loop will be set to false. We want to play that sound once. We also want to go to our score panel here and choose the first bunch of yellow dots. We want to take off 50 points from our score. So set it to -50 and choose relative, so it takes it off our current score. The final thing we need to do is just jump our player back to the starting position. So back in the Move tab, choose this button here with the X and the light bulb. It's called Jump to Start, and just choose Self and click OK. So if we die or hit a bad guy, Object Girl left is going to jump back to the starting position. Okay, that's all we need when we hit a monster. And we do the same thing for the monster right. So what I'm going to do on Object Monster left here is right click on it and duplicate it. So duplicate event, and this time it'll be a collision between the other monster, so Object Monster right. As soon as I press that, you'll see the same actions have appeared, and it saves us having to do that all over again. So monster left and monster right collisions have the same actions. Alrighty, so let's keep going. The next collision event we're going to have is with the wall. Okay, we don't want our player leaving the room when they hit the wall or actually falling through the wall, so we've got to tell them that. So the first thing I'm going to do in the Move tab is choose this red arrow pointing to a blue block. It's the Move to Contact action. For the direction, we need to set it to direction. Sounds a bit funny, but give it the name direction. Maximum is going to be 12, and it's going to be against solid objects. Click OK. Then we're going to set our vertical speed here to 0 and click on OK. So we've got one last thing now to do with our Object Girl, and that is to make her shoot. Okay, to start with, we're going to add in an event, and it's going to be a create event. Okay, we're going to go down to the Control tab, and we're going to set a variable. So choose this first VAR option here. The variable, we're going to make up the name can shoot, and we want the value to be 1. Okay, if the value is 1, it means she can shoot. We're going to add a bit more in to explain that further in just a moment. After we've added that create event, we're going to add in another event, and it's going to be a keyboard event this time. It's going to be the space key. So when we press the space bar, we want to be able to shoot bullets out. Okay, so with the space key selected, we can go put some actions in now. First action is a test variable one. So in the Control tab, test the variable can_shoot. We want the value to be 1. We want it to be equal to. So we're testing to see if we are actually able to shoot or not. If it's equal to 1, then yes, we are able to shoot. So I'm going to put in a block of events to tell our game how to shoot. So if it's equal to 1, we'll start the block. The first thing in the block of events in the main 1 tab is the sound of the gun. Okay, so put in the sound of the gun firing, loop will be set to false. Once we play the sound of the gun, we're going to stay in the main 1 tab and select this first light bulb that you can see called Create Instance. We're going to make a picture, or we're going to make that sprite bullet appear on our page. Okay, so what we're going to do is make Object Bullet Left appear. Since we're shooting with the girl on the left, we want to make sure it's Object Bullet Left that appears. And X and Y will be set to 0, and relative will be checked. Okay, so that means the bullet appears right on top of our girl. Okay, after that we're going to make the bullet move. So go to the Move tab here, choose the red arrows. First of all, you must tell it to be the Object Bullet Left that we are going to move. Choose the direction you want it to go, so obviously to the left. The speed, pretty quick, about speed 12 is what we want it at. And we'll click on OK. After that, we're going to set a variable in the Control tab here. So choose the first VAR, and we're going to set can shoot to 0. That means we can no longer shoot. We just want a short period of time after we fire a bullet where we can't shoot, so we don't have a million bullets coming out at once. Okay, so about half a second gap before we can shoot the next bullet. And the way we do that is we set a timer, or it's known as an alarm in GameMaker. So in main 2, choose this first option here, set alarm. If we choose 15 steps, that's about half a second. Okay, and we're going to put it in alarm number 0 to start with. That will do us for that, so click OK in the Control tab, close off that block of events. So that was quite big, so let's have another look at that. When we press the space bar, first of all we need to make sure that we're able to shoot. If we are, then we're going to play the sound of the gun firing. We're going to make an instance of the bullet appear. right on top of the girl. And as soon as that appears, it's going to start moving to the left. Then we're going to set our variable can shoot to 0. That means we can't shoot anymore. And it's just for half a second. Once that half a second's up, then we'll be able to come back and start shooting again. We just have to tell GameMaker to do that actually, so we need to add in one final event here. It's going to be an alarm event, alarm 0. And on alarm 0, we just need to set the variable can shoot back to 1. So when that half a second timer's up, we just want to be able to shoot again. So click OK on that. Fair bit of coding there, but that's what we need to get object girl left working. Okay, it's pretty big, but we'll be able to copy and paste a lot of this stuff over to object girl right now to save us a bit of time. Alrighty, so let's click on OK there. I think we are finished with girl left. So what we're going to code up now is object girl right. So in your objects folder, double click on object girl right. And we're going to do stuff pretty similar to what we just did with the girl left. So let's add in an event. Because we're facing to the right, let's add a keyboard event for moving to the right. In the control tab, simply select that first dotted circle there. X value will be 4 and make it relative. Click OK. In your move tab, we're going to jump to position. X value will be 4 again. It will be relative. Click OK. That's simply moving your player to the right at a speed of 4. When we press the left key this time, we're not going to move her. We're simply going to go to the main 1 tab and change our object of girl right into object girl left. And yes, we will perform those events. Click OK. That's our left and right keys done. Okay. We'll quickly add in the keyboard event for the up. I'm not going to explain these again. I'll just put them in quickly. So the control tab, choose the blue ball there in the right hand corner. You need to look out for object wall. Y is going to be 1 and relative will be checked. Click OK. Then going back to the move tab, you're going to set your vertical speed to -10 and then you're going to click OK again. Now for the step event, I'm going to copy and paste it from object girl left. It's all the same. So here's my step event I made previously. I'm simply going to highlight all of that, copy it by pressing Ctrl C or right clicking on it. And now back on object girl right, we can put in a step event and simply paste all of that code in. Saves us having to do it from scratch. Okay. The next thing we might add in is the collision with the monsters. Again, that's a copy and paste job. So I'm going to go back to my object girl left where I've already put the code in for collision with the monsters, and I'm going to highlight it all and copy it. I'm going to go back to my object girl right now and add in a collision with both the monster left and a collision with the monster right. And I'm simply going to paste the code into both of those collision events. Okay, so we're trying to save ourselves a bit of time here. The next one, if we go back to object girl left, it's the same code for having a collision with the object wall. So I'm going to copy that. Back on my girl right, I'm going to add in a collision with the wall, and I'm going to paste in the code. Okay, so we're saving a lot of time here. Still on object girl right, I'm just going to add a create event. We're going to make her shoot now. Okay, in the create event, we want to set a variable first of all. We could copy and paste this again from girl left, but I think it's just as quick to make it ourselves. We want can shoot equal to 1. Then we're going to add in the spacebar event. So keyboard, spacebar. Now it's slightly different between the girl left and the girl right for this one. So I'm going to stay on girl right for this one, and I'm just going to do it from scratch. So first of all, we need to test the can shoot variable and see if it is equal to 1. Because remember, if it is equal to 1, we can shoot. So we start a block of events. First thing, play the sound of the gun firing. Loop will be false. After we've played the sound of the gun firing, we press the yellow light bulb up here to create an instance. And that instance is going to be bullet right this time, because we're facing to the right. We want the bullet that moves to the right to fire off. X and Y will be set to 0, but we do need to check relative at the bottom, so that bullet appears right on top of our player where they currently stand. Then we're going to tell the bullet to move. So we go back to the Move tab and select the red arrows at the top. We choose the object and we choose bullet right. Okay, if you don't put bullet right here, your player is going to go flying off the screen instead of the bullet. So you need to mention that it's the bullet that you want to move. Make sure it moves to the right and its speed's going to be 12, and then you click OK. Back in the Control tab, we set the variable can shoot to 0, which stops us being able to shoot. And then we set a timer, which is also known as an alarm, in the Main 2 tab here. The number of steps is 15, so it's about a half-second gap where we can't shoot. This time we're going to put it in alarm 1, so it's a different alarm to our other one. In the Control tab, you can close your block of events now. That's all the spacebar coding, and the final piece of code you need now is an alarm. It's going to be an alarm 1 event, and you simply want to set the can shoot variable back to 1, which means you can shoot again. Okay, so once about half a second's up, go for it, shoot another bullet. Alrighty, so that's all of our code for the girl and the object girl left and object girl right. So let's click OK. We quickly program up these other objects. First one, I want to code up the bullets. Really simple. All we need to do here is when the bullets have a collision with the wall, we want them to destroy themselves. If they were to go through the wall, they'll just keep going, and if we shoot lots of bullets in our game could become overloaded with bullets floating around in space in the middle of nowhere, outside of our room. So we want to destroy those bullets as soon as they hit the wall. So a collision between the bullet and the wall, all you need to do is destroy itself. Click OK. Pretty easy. Do the same for bullet right. Add in a collision event with the wall, and in main 1, destroy itself. Okay, so it just destroys the bullet when it hits the wall. Easy enough. The next thing, we're going to code up our monsters, a monster left and monster right. Starting with monster left, what we're going to do is get it moving first of all. So add in a create event. So when this monster is first created, we want it to move to the left because this is monster left. We'll leave it at speed 4, so the same speed as our player. Click OK. Next thing we're going to do, when it has a collision with a bullet, we want it to die. So we'll start with bullet left. So when bullet left hits monster left, we're going to do a few things. We're going to play a sound of a kill. Loop will be false. We'll give ourselves a quick score, so 10 points maybe for hitting a bad guy. Make sure it's relative so you can keep adding up your score. Back in main 1, we're going to destroy that monster, so just destroy itself and click OK. The other thing you want to destroy is the bullet. Okay, so you're going to have to choose other. That just destroys the other thing, which is the bullet in this case. And click OK. We're going to duplicate that event now, so right click on bullet left and duplicate event. This time collision with bullet right. So either bullet left or bullet right can hit this monster and the exact same sequence of actions will occur. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. The other thing, when the monsters hit the wall, we want them to turn around and go back the other way. If we just have a look at our level 1 here, the monsters are facing a certain direction. When they move all the way across and hit the wall, we want them to turn around, go back the other way. So I'll add in an event when it has a collision with the wall. So when monster left collides with the wall, first of all in the Move tab, just reverse its horizontal direction. Let's click OK on that. Make sure you're getting horizontal direction there. Then we're going to change our object from facing to the left into the monster facing to the right. So they're going back the other way, so they might as well face that way as well. Make sure Perform Events is set to yes as well. Click on OK. That should do us for the monster left. I'm going to leave that open because we're going to do a bit of a copy and paste job, I think, for some of these. On Object Monster Right now. So open up Object Monster Right. First thing you want to do is add an event to make it move. So when it's first created, just move it to the right at speed 4. Click OK. The second thing is the collision with the bullets, so a collision with object bullet left and a collision with object bullet right. We're going to copy and paste the code that we've already put in on the other monster. Okay, it's exactly the same. So I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it in to both collision events here on monster right. Okay, so when the monster right gets hit by the bullet, left or right, you'll hear it die, get 10 points, destroy the monster and also destroy the bullet. Okay, so that's easy enough. The other thing we're going to do is a collision with the wall. So when this monster hits the wall, we reverse his horizontal direction, and in main 1 we're going to make him change into monster left, so he's facing the other way now. Make sure you say yes to performing events. Click OK. Alrighty, so that's our monsters all coded up. Our bullets are coded up. The last thing we want to do is put a score panel up in this top left hand corner. And if you look at the X and Y values, when I hover over that corner, it's 32 and 32. So let's draw our score up there. So in Object Score, first of all, in your Draw tab at the bottom, just choose a color for your text. Oops, I need to add an event first. It's going to be a draw event because we're drawing our own scoreboard. So we choose the color for our text. Just something light will look good because we've got a dark background. So I'm just going to choose white. And in the score panel, we're just going to draw the score by selecting this third bunch of yellow dots and making the X and Y value 32 and 32. Click OK. Click OK. I think that's enough from me. We can press the green play button at the top now and we can test our game. So a few things we're looking for here. We're looking for the girl to turn left and right, so she's facing both directions depending which way she's going. We also want to be able to shoot in both directions. Okay, let's have a look. So first of all, let's see if we can move to the right. Yep. Let's see if we can move to the left. We can. If we jump, we're all good. If we hit the bad guys, like I just did, we lose 50 points. We should be able to shoot now too. And when we shoot, we should be able to kill the bad guys. If I hold Spacebar down, you can see I can't shoot too many bullets at once. There's that little gap between each of them. Now I think I've made my levels impossible to complete here because I can't jump up any higher onto those higher platforms. So I would have to go and change that. But as you can see, our player moves left and right. No worries. She jumps fine. She can shoot in both directions. We have a fully working game. So I'm going to close that off now. Close that off. I'm going to save it. And I'm going to go to File and Create Application so I can take that home and play it and show my parents if I would like, or my friends. So I'll just find a spot to save that. Put it in Game Design. Alrighty, so that will just compile down the bottom here. Once that's finished compiling, you're right to close off GameMaker.